Hello and welcome to the Sqaud and United, the one stop for everything Manchester United. In case you were not aware, in the early hours of today, we played a game against Arsenal and we lost. Yeah, of course, like I always said, preseason is very serious because it's all about fitness and practicing for the new tactics that the manager would want to employ on the team, right? And also with the fact that we have almost 4 new coaches, both assistant managers and first team coaches in the team, it is important that we use this preseason to really bring in the new philosophy and new ideas into the team, right? And unfortunately, we lost that game 2-1 to Arsenal, and we also lost 2 players. We lost Rasmus Højlund with a knock. We don't know what's the situation with Højlund yet. We also lost Lenny Yoro. Also, he was devastated. He was just shaking his head because he was limping and he left that game. So we lost 2 players and we lost that game. In the first half, it was not a bad result. Honestly, in the first half, we played well. Rasmus Højlund scored a good goal. He bullied that young defender, scored a good goal. Then they got one back. It was an offside, but of course, it's a friendly, so there's no VAR, so they couldn't rule that one off. But it was 1-1, and then Rasmus Højlund left, and then Euro left, and all of a sudden, everything scattered, right? And then in the second half, we changed the whole squad, the whole first 11, except for Onana, who played the whole game. But in both halves, we played with 2 different lineups. But the issue is that now we have lost 2 players, and in today's game, there was no one that was spectacular. There was no spectacular performance from anybody. Anthony came in, Ahmad played, everybody played, but Casemiro was still missing a lot of passes. Harry Maguire doing the same thing too. So the performances from the whole team was not. The question now is, are we ready for the next season? The next season is in 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, in 2.5 weeks. We play Man City in 2 weeks. Are we ready for the next season? Because our next friendlies are against Real Betis, then we play Liverpool, and then we play Man City in the Community Shield, and then it is the first game of the season. Are we prepared? Fine, the full squad are not yet here. We still have people like Bruno, Garnacho, and some other players coming back from next week, Dalo and the rest. But right here, right now, is this squad good enough to compete for the Premier League top 4 next season? I'm not talking about the winning the league. Top 4. Are we good enough to compete? Are we good enough to win the Europa League next season? Because now we only have 2 new signings. We need to bring in more signings, because now Lenny Yoro went off injured, right? Then we had, if this was the Premier League and Lenny Yoro was out injured, one of our ball playing defenders, we have someone like Maguire coming in, or Lindelof coming in. If he doesn't win, if he doesn't leave, sorry. So we have to sign players. We have to sell some of these players. Eriksen, Casemiro, Wan-Bissaka. These players that don't really fit into our system, we need to sell them now so that we can have hope for next season. If not, it's going to be the same thing next season with the same players doing the same thing, making the same mistakes, not being fit, not playing the system, not being good enough. It's going to be the same thing if we don't do something about this issue in the transfer markets. So I'm not here to criticize anybody or anything. I'm just here to say that we need to sell players. We need to do more in the transfer markets so that we can rescue this season. In case we might have another injury crisis this season, which I hope we don't. But in case we do, we need to be able to have good backups in every position, and also sack the fitness coach at Manchester United. That's all.